For all the haters that have been out there and they have hated on the WWE since the beginning of the PG era, you can't really say anything tonight because Raw tonight was pretty darn good. And that's one thing I am going to say about it. It was really, really good. The intro itself with Triple H and CM Punk and their verbal backlash back and forth, like it was literally a verbal smackdown between the both of them. And they kept matching each other's wits. And it would be a match. I mean, it would be a verbal match that would just keep going on and on and on. And just when you thought that Triple H had the last word and they played his music, oh no, 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 no. CM Punk ended up having the last word and he dropped the verbal pipe bomb and boom, it exploded all on Triple H's face. Even though it did not phase Triple H and he walked out of there alive, it still stung and he knew it. And there was a lot of questions that a lot of, not even so much questions, there were a lot of situations that have happened in WWE that everybody in the YWC has complained about that CM Punk brought up. Yes, the WWE had wasted talent. They wasted tons of talent to the point where the show itself became mediocre. And yeah, CM Punk actually did bring life back to the WWE and he claimed it. And he had a point. Not only that, the backstage, the backstage commentary, the little moments that R-Truth and The Miz had. Now, I'm not so much of a fan of R-Truth, and that pretty much stated in my videos, but R-Truth had a point. Maybe there is a conspiracy against The Miz, because CM Punk coming back was something that was going to happen anyway. So if that was going to happen anyway, why did he have a number one contender match? Why did Vince McMahon decide to do that? Maybe there is a conspiracy. I don't know. What do you think? But honestly, I'm pretty proud of our church tonight. I usually hate on him because of his whole voices thing that he hears stuff and he acts like he's crazy all the time. But honestly, he is getting better on the mic. And the way that he talked to the Miz, he had a point. If the Miz don't keep his eyes open, he's gonna get got. And seeing how he's been losing lately, yeah, he needs to keep his eyes open at all times. But I'm gonna be real. The match between the Miz and R-Truth and John Morrison and Rey Mysterio went out great for me. Because I am all about the heels winning because the heels ain't got no love. They never get love. And the fact that the Miz and R-Truth won tonight over Ray and Jomo, thumbs up for me. That was like a really big part of my night, and I am happy that the Miz and R-Truth won. And that'll probably be the last time I'm ever gonna say anything positive about R-Truth. Well, hopefully, no, it is the last thing I'm positive I'm gonna say about R-Truth. But there has been so many positive moments that have happened tonight. A-Rod comes out and calls out um, Dolph Ziggler, saying that he's a coward. We're hiding behind Vicky Guerrero, which he really is a coward hiding behind Vicky Guerrero. Because I would love to see Dolph Ziggler strike out on his own and actually put his title up for grabs. And I hope that A-Rod wins because what's the point of holding on to a starter belt? It's time to pass along to the next person that, is worthy of being a champion. It's time to pass that belt on to A-Rod. And I think A-Rod would be a great United States champion. And I mean, it's just match after match after match was interesting. I'm not even gonna lie, even the Alberto Del Rio and Evan Bourne match was interesting. It made me sad how Zack Ryder, as crunk as I was when Zack Ryder came out, it made me sad that Zack Ryder lost, but it was also predictable that Zack Ryder would lose to McGillicuddy and Otunga. But the one thing that really did kind of make sense, well, not really make sense, but something that I'm happy that they actually did was that they decided to get rid of the whole Nexus gimmick and just decided just to come out as themselves, which is what they should have done when they were on SmackDown last week. But I'm happy that they decided to come out as tag team champions with their names and they're not calling themselves the new Nexus. The ending, of the whole thing with the whole Undisputed Championship coming back. was awesome. I mean, that would make the match even better for SummerSlam. And speaking of SummerSlam, they brought up several matches for that night. They brought up um, they brought up the match for SmackDown with Randy Orton versus Christian. They brought up, um, oh, um, I mean, they really promoted SmackDown to make you really crunk about it, and also matches that could possibly be potential matches for SmackDown. And speaking of SmackDown, speaking of matches for SummerSlam, the Divas and the Divas number one contendership battle royal. Now, the Divas matches have been hated on and hated on and hated on and hated on by everybody in the YWC for months now. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I didn't really have a lot of things positive to say, but I'm a huge promoter of the Divas division, especially for the WWE, because they don't have a lot of love. They're not doing much for them, but they brought back Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix is now the number one contender. Not only that, she's a heel. She's finally a heel now. She's no longer goody goody. She's no longer back in the shadows. She is out there in the forefront, and she is going to take that title away from Kelly. And I hope that she does, because she will finally set an example for what the Divas should be. Besides the fact that they're beautiful, besides the fact that they have figures, besides the fact that they can wear a bikini like the better of them. She is going to show the strength and the talent that the Divas should be, how it used to be in the Attitude Era. There were so many divas back then that actually had a right to hold the women's title. She was one of those women that had the right to hold the women's title before the women's title was completely eliminated for that Divas monstrosity. But anyway, she is going to definitely set the mark for every diva out there, and I cannot wait until their match with Kelly. The ending itself, I think I mentioned this, but anyway, the ending itself was CM Punk and John Cena out there and Triple H. I guess it kind of sort of fizzled out, but it still had so much tension in there. It still made you excited for what was going to happen next week. It made you excited about the confrontation between Triple H and CM Punk. But not only is it a feud between John Cena and CM Punk, it's a feud between John Cena, CM Punk, and Triple H. It's like a triangle of feudum or whatever, a trifecta of feuds. Like literally. It can't get better than that. You got like a triangle of a feud. I mean, I don't know how to even say it. It's like a feud trifecta of epic proportions between Triple H and John Cena and CM Punk. How great is that? And since Triple H is literally in the position of power, he can screw over anybody that he wants to. Will he? That's the question. But John Laurinaitis should have stayed where he was. Good grief, he has a personality of a Muppet that doesn't have his hand up. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. But I don't really like the guy. But Raw tonight was great. The matches itself made me crunk. The fact that the heels came back. The people who were supposed to be heels came back. The fact that the heels won a couple of matches was awesome. I loved it. I loved every single bit of it. Don't get me wrong. The ending was stale, which kind of makes it to, unfortunately, to give it a B plus rating for the night. But it was still a good Raw. Everything that everybody, every internet smart, every person in the YWC, in the IWC that has been complaining about for months has been literally brought to the forefront by CM Punk. In the intro and in the ending, it brought it up and he lit a fire under the WWE. The WWE Universe, everybody on the YWC, I mean, you should be satisfied by this because it's been brought up. It is something that's no longer hidden in the shadows. It is something that has been acknowledged. And it seems like the WWE is trying to meet them halfway. You can't deny that. You gotta give them a little bit of credit for that. So that's why I am giving it a B plus rating for the night. Even though the ending was stale, Even though some of the matches didn't go over the way I hoped, like the David Otunga match, because I actually wanted Zack Ryder to win. The tag team match, I actually wanted Zack Ryder to win. But since I can't remember whether or not it was for the titles, but since Zack Ryder is the assistant of SmackDown, it wouldn't make any sense for him to be champion. But honestly, it was a good Raw. It was a B+ for me. So all of you haters out there, you can't hate anymore. You gotta acknowledge the fact that the WWE is trying to meet everybody halfway, and you gotta meet them halfway too. This is the Nature Girl 30 signing off. Have a good night.